Good morning, beautiful, and welcome back to the Minecraft Guide. Over the course of today's episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. If you didn't hear, there's a big update on the horizon, and the horizon, I think, isn't too far off. It's like maybe at that tower, or even closer. In order to prepare our trusty world for Minecraft 1.21 that we're going to probably update day one of the update, we need to do a little bit of preparations. From a couple of farms that might not be a bad idea to set up right now to some other things you should get in order, we're going to go through a list of a bunch of things you should do before 1.21, about 10. At some point, we're also, of course, going to name those beautiful brand new dogs from last episode. Now, I would love to make the comment section of this episode right here essentially a big extension of today's guide episode. So down below, please drop one thing that you're doing in your world to help yourself prepare for Minecraft 1.21. Or drop one thing you're going to do right off the bat once the update hits. Also, tap that like button, and let's go. First things first, over here, the handy, good old, trusty, dusty sugarcane farm. We stock up on a little bit of this stuff for this big update. You see, inside of a crafting table, if you didn't know, with a spiral of wood like that, this little handy thing, it's known as a cartography table. The cartography table is going to control a very important villager profession for the update. Once the update hits, we want to go over to that profession and get that thing right away. To get that thing, whatever it might be, no spoilers. Well, to be able to get that thing like right away, right off the bat, we're going to want to have at least 2 stacks of paper queued up and ready, a table, and then actually, next up, over to the resource desert it would be if my situation wasn't already looking so fire. Inside of the crafting table with all these glass blocks right here, easily, that's a whole stack of glass panes. Over here I have 7 more. Okay, well, over to the desert it actually is. Minecraft 1.21. It's introducing a brand new beautiful structure. And how in the world are we going to actually find that structure? Well, we're actually going to use a handy little thing that I like to call a map. However, that map, well, we're going to need to go through a little bit of leveling to actually get that thing. Inside of the inventory, after digging up a little bit of sand, I am overflowing almost practically with tons of sand. In total, we're going to want to have at least 2 stacks of glass panes queued up and ready to go. You see, over inside of a different world, if I had myself a villager and a cartography table, then all of a sudden I have a cartographer villager, and this would be in 1.21 theoretically. Then with 2 stacks of paper, I can go ahead and trade with this buddy a couple of times and get it from novice level up to apprentice level. After that, it's time for the glass pane trade. This one is probably a little bit more worth my time. I go ahead and do that a little bit, and again, with 2 stacks of that stuff, actually a little bit less than 2 stacks of that stuff, well, we give it a second, and if I'm lucky, I'm lucky, well, with an additional compass and a tiny bit of emeralds that I just got from selling paper, I could actually go ahead and buy myself a trial chamber map, and then find the chamber, really close. I can find the chamber, and pretty easily. So that all is going to mean back, home sweet home, the old trusty villager breeder, the one that we had to shut off for fear of overloading my world. Oh my god, I'm not even on the hill. Check done. I'm going to want to have a couple extra villagers, and by a couple, I mean, I guess like 50. Yeah, maybe I have like 50 or more. Somebody pause the frame and count it for me, okay? In order to prep for the update, I'm not sure what we're going to end up doing first, but for sure, I'm going to throw a little bit of sand inside of the furnace and slowly smelt it up, and have a bunch more sand just queued up inside of this box, ready to go. So quick, think fast. When you think of 1.21, what do you think about? It's probably the trial chambers or like a copper block. Maybe though, if you're not like most other girls, well, if you're a little bit more unique, you might think of the tough block inside of a Minecraft 1.21. Oh boy, maybe one of my favorite updates that I can't wait to hit this world specifically is going to be this one right here. We take the tough, put it in a little spiral. We hit the Polish one, spiral it again. I get the brick, so it's going to be absolutely amazing. In order to do some beautiful building inside of 1.21, I mean, Deep Slate is a wonderful block to have, but more so tough inside of this update. I'm not sure if Deep Slate bricks or tough bricks are going to be the most beautiful thing in the entire world anymore. Now, when it comes to tough mining, stocking up on this stuff a little bit more for the update, I highly recommend going all the way down to the bottom of the world and kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Down at the bottom of our world, more specifically, negative 58. We talked about this in this episode right here. It's time to do a little bit of branch mining. You see, tough is pretty common, so before too long, if I'm a little bit more lucky than this, I should be able to find some. Now, when it comes to building in the Minecraft 1.21 era, you're going to have a couple of different options. Stock up on the tuff, stock up on the copper as well while you're at it, or find the trial chambers once the update drops, take on the trial, and then take apart the trial. There's so many blocks here. So yeah, it's totally up to you and how you play the game. I'm not going to say I haven't ruled out entirely annihilating a trial chamber structure. I might do it, I don't know. But I do like to preserve things. However, if you want to stock up on copper, if I were you, I mean, you could do a little bit of mining if you like to, but maybe it's just really wait until the update. There is so much copper inside of these chambers, like condensed into one little area. In fact, way more copper that you can find in these chambers you can find anywhere else in the world. It's almost not even worth your time to run around and mine for copper because, I mean, like, that's 9, that's 9, that's 9, that's 27 right there. That's 27 more, 27 more, 27 more, and so on until the end of time. Moving on from the trial chambers, let's segue over to actually the trial chambers. What happens inside of this structure? Like, what goes down? Oh, yeah, that goes down. Annoying, terrible new skeleton and a little bit of trialing as well. Not always exactly the best. When the trial chambers was initially announced, it was stated to be a mid-game challenge. So if you're in your world, kind of like me, and more like late game, I mean, depending on your situation, the chamber might be a breeze. If you're excited for day one inside of this update, you can't wait to go into the chamber and start trialing. Well, maybe it's not a bad idea to take the armor that you have right now and max that stuff out, get it looking really, really good. This full set of armor right here, I believe, in fact, no, 100%, I basically maxed this out other than a couple treasure enchantments that I'm gonna have to come back and add to it. With a full diamond, or heck, if you want to go super overkill and do all the netherite everything set of armor, the trial chamber, I mean, it's not necessarily gonna be a breeze, but with good armor, you'll be able to burst your way into the chamber immediately once the update hits and start to take it on. Oh man, so you kind of know a little bit of the saga of this world. We took a little bit of a break leading up to Minecraft 1.21, 1.20.5, whatever. One thing that was on my big to-do list before the update. Ah man, one thing that was on my big bird. Disgusting, looking out at the sun, admiring your empire. But anyways, one thing that was on my to-do list before the update involves that little guy over there. The honeycomb is going to be more useful than ever in Minecraft 1.21. That'll mean that something like the tiny little bee adorable, that's going to be vital for your experience inside of 1.21 with all that copper and all. Hey, little tiny buddy, come with me. One of the greatest things you can do for yourself right now, if you just want to do something in your world that'll help you out for the next big update, is make a bee farm, specifically a honeycomb farm, and let that buddy run for a while. Breeding up bees is insanely easy. You could use any flower in the game in a honeycomb farm. I mean, it's not too advanced either. Place a campfire down below one of these things, go ahead and shear it if you want a manual one, or get a little bit of observers and dispensers in the mix, and pretty easily, you've got a fully automatic farm as well. Now, I think for us in our world, based off of our situation, trajectory, everything like that, we're gonna put a bee farm, honeycomb one, on our to-do list, like, almost ASAP stat. Ah, yes, the mace, the big kahuna of a Minecraft 1.21, the big prize. This thing is great, except problem. I'm not gonna lie, I love when the devs add a new tool or weapon to the game, it's really cool, but I'm also not gonna lie, I hate when the devs add a new tool or weapon to the game and do it how they're doing it here. Alright, so flashback rewind to the trident from Minecraft 1.13. What's the deal with the trident? You get the trident, then it takes a little bit of durability damage, doesn't have very much by the way, 250. And then if I want to repair it, I need to go find a whole nother trident. On Minecraft Bedrock, maybe not as big of a deal, but on Java, oh boy, that's a big job. Well, I kind of can't believe that they've done it again with Minecraft 1.21. If I have a mace that took durability damage and I want to repair it, I need a whole second mace. And this thing might be more difficult to find than the trident itself, so yeah, that's gonna be a big problem. You can't heal it with like a second heavy core, not that that's any better, or even a breeze rod. Breeze rod would be genius though. On a separate side note, it's almost like Minecraft would benefit from a random item that has magical powers that could heal up a lot of different tools, almost any of them. A universal repair kit or something. Anyways, it's funny because I feel like I remember one of the devs saying somewhere they don't love the idea of like overpowered things like, say, mending being always necessary to like be able to use something. But don't quote me on that one. Memory might be a little bit dusty, but it doesn't matter. Here we are. We've made our way over to Sweet Dear Mendel's house. How you doing, buddy? We're gonna put a new painting right there in 1.21 for sure. But anyways, for now, Mending Villager for the low price of 14 emeralds, almost the best price we could have gotten. For that low price of 14 emeralds, we have Mending, consistently and reliable for any tool. Maybe the mace, maybe the trident. that I could ever dream of. It's really kind of a bummer, I feel like, that you just, like, basically straight up need mending if you want to find any of the more cool things, Trident, Elytra, Mace, whatever, but it is what it is. Take a little bit of time, go through the process of getting a mending villager. It's really not too difficult, and by the way, not to self-plug, but for a lot of the stuff we're talking about today, I mean, this is the Minecraft guide series after all, so check out the playlist. New buddy, here I am over at the local Minecraft village. Minecraft 1.21, when it hits, is going to add a brand new bottle in effect to the game called the, well, it's not really a new effect, but it's a new way. Because of the mechanics being slightly shifted inside of 1.21, if you've never taken on a raid before, this might be the time to do it. If you're going to take on a raid, before you do that, you're going to want to find a village and prep it up. The easiest way to prep a village up for a raid, grab a bell, ring the bell. The villagers should freak out and eventually run all the way back to wherever their house is. When the villagers do this, they're going to try and go inside and go over to their bed, whichever one it is. And once they go inside, place a couple of blocks in front of the door so the villager is trapped inside of the house. If you trap a villager in its house, it should be safe from everything inside of the raid. Now, don't just do that with one villager. I recommend maybe getting a couple of villagers and making sure they're nice and safe. By locking at least a couple of our villagers up inside of their houses, when we go into the villages, drink the ominous bottle, and want to kick off the raid, we don't really have to do very much other prep inside of the village. Well, kind of. If you want to build some traps inside of the village for the raiders too, I mean, it's not a bad idea. Okay, so I want to be truthful with you guys over inside of the world. I kind of have been holding off and delaying expanding this path inside of the world for the longest time because I kind of am at a difficult spot. I don't know what to do. I love the path block, and this is like a dedicated proper path inside of the world, but like, I almost am at the point inside of the world where I kind of want to make a different kind of road, like maybe a more gray or stone or like city-based road, you know what I'm saying? And if I do that, then I have to come back in and tear all of this path out. So that's kind of the reason I've been delaying and not really putting the path inside of the world for like so long. But before this update hits, it's finally time. One of the biggest things that I like to do inside of my worlds before I ever update them in a new update is get the world in like a prim and proper tip-top shape. We want to go around our world and find anything that might be sitting out of place. Maybe that's like random build supply chests, kind of like say this one right here. I might want to take these things and condense them over into my central storage building. And then if I have other projects that I've been kind of waiting on doing for a long time, pushing off, well, now might be finally the time to put that road in. I don't know if I'm gonna love this. Okay, so I kind of have this whole vibe going on over here. I like that idea. I will go ahead and continue that. I'll go back over and get a little bit more dirt blocks, and then maybe we end that there, or I could go one more section. Yeah, one more section like that. We'll end that there. We'll have the path like curve out a little bit towards the centerpiece right here. Kind of still unsure if I want to have the path wrap around here, or maybe this should just be a big bone meal garden. Then I'm definitely going to have the path go this way. I'll do slabs right there to step up. I'll have them walk over. Then I'll do the same thing. Slabs to step down. Got to get some oak ones. Then over here, it's going to be like a little bit of a crossroad situation. We'll have the path go over this way and wrap down that way. For now, the path is just going to kind of magically dead end right here because I don't have too much going on. See, at least for me, when I think of a Minecraft world and, like, updating the world, what I want to do once the update hits, it's definitely not go around and finish up projects that I never finished from the update before. By running around in your world right now, where we're kind of like in this gray area, we know the update soon, but we don't know exactly when it's going to hit. Well, by using this time right now to run around in the world and clean things up, we not only kind of get to like bond with the world in a way, if that makes sense. I guess I should clarify that. By bond, I mean like if you were falling out of love with your world, well, by running around and cleaning up, finishing stuff up, you might get more inspired again. And if you were already still actively loving your world, well, I mean, you'll love it more. It's even better. I almost feel like I could put like a garden in here or like something. Maybe I'll come back in and do that at some point because I think this is going to be way too small for a building. Maybe in like a big oak tree right here too. Ooh, yeah, for sure. See, that's another reason I like to go around in my world and finish things up. It's kind of like brainstorming. While you're going around in your world doing the small details, maybe like the things you always put off, you might brainstorm and come up with other cool ideas that you want to add in. But oh boy, I hate to say it, this path situation, I don't know what to do. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in. I want to get it in before the update, but maybe I'm about to do like Path Contest 2.0, if anybody remembers that one, and like have you guys like submit path ideas over on the subreddit or something. Not quite yet, but like maybe thinking about doing it and, you know, trying to redesign stuff. Now, the great incident spot right here, I always wanted to memorialize it. I don't know how to do that, though. Maybe I could... I'll just work around it for now. See, I know for sure, 100% for sure, I want to have the path go over towards the Great Bridge, go across the canyon, build over there, and then I want to have the bridge go over here, which, by the way, in between episodes, I got a little bit more creative. So we got the dogs over here, name them in a minute, but we also have a little doghouse. I built a small, simple build trick. I wanted to match the build right there, so a little bit of mangrove going on, some dark oak trap doors in there to make it nice and cozy, then I expanded the garden and filled it in a little bit more. This spot over here, is so straightforward. We do a diagonal cut over towards the Great Incident location, and then call it good. This tree, though, I should probably cut that down and make that a big grand one too, though, right? Kind of like, well, like that one, definitely. So there we go. Just like that, we have a path going all the way over to the sweet doggy daycare right there. Now, in the future, 100% that's going to expand down that way over to, like, other things that we end up doing. And then I got to come back in here and get a couple more details. Definitely, I was thinking maybe a couple oak fences in here. Oak fences are always great along a path, right? All right, then let's see. We're going to go ahead and do this trick. I love to do this all over my world. The gigantic oak trees. I think having a massive oak tree sitting right here, hopefully going over the path, would look so cool. Then I was also thinking, and hopefully this is going to grow here, I might have to pull the building out temporarily or whatever, but what about a birch tree right there? I don't want to have all 3 trees lined up, but yeah, you know, maybe a birch tree right there, and then maybe like one more sitting over here near the edge. I could always come back in and chop the trees down later. If I don't like them, no big deal. Definitely, absolutely need a little bit more of something going on over here too. I think it's because maybe I haven't put any trees or of course the path over here, but this area has always felt so unfinished. I think maybe adding in a couple of trees along the canyon here might look good, and heck, I could even come back in and put a fence line right there. That's a little close to the edge. After all, it's dangerous. Hi, and so, I mean, I gotta wait for the trees to get in here. I'll do it in between episodes. I'll AFK for a while. It takes some time for these big ones to grow in, but oh yeah, I can't wait. By the time we come back next episode, this whole path is going to feel entirely different with all these trees around it. I put a couple cherry trees in. I don't want to go too crazy with them because that's, I mean, they're already a little excessive, but yeah, maybe I'll come back in and find a spot for a couple more. Go around your world right now before the update hits and find things to do that you've always been wanting to do but never did for whatever reason. Now, this area over here around the cathedral, I'm still going to wait on this one. This is definitely going to be something entirely different, I think, so we'll come back to this later once I have more buildings around it. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. Next up, check this out. 3, 2, 1, here we've got our official Minecraft 1.21 to-do list, or at least some. A great thing to do somewhere in your world, whether it's on signs inside of your world, like you physically build a to-do list, or just put it inside of a written book, or even just write it down in real life as some things that you're going to want to do once the update hits, or just in general, things that you want to do. So over here, I have things like a honeycomb farm. Absolutely need to do that. Finding the chambers, farming the chambers, you know. More copper tools, maybe like an oxidization thing, get more quartz for automatic farms, you know. A lot of the stuff is pretty straightforward. And then I had this really cool idea recently where I was like, what if I build like a big build, almost like the cathedral, but it was a museum instead. And slowly over time, we stock up on a bunch of stuff like every trim, all of the shirts, whatever. If you have ideas, what I like to do in my world is usually put it like somewhere off camera or whatever, but build a to-do list somewhere physically so then when you want to go into your world and do something, but you just don't know what to do, you could always go back over to that list, take a look, and be like, ah yeah, honeycomb farm, that's what I wanted to do. I'll go ahead and do that right now. And so, last but not least, that brings us to the final thing you could do before a Minecraft update. At least on Minecraft to Java Edition, you have access to handy tools like MCA Selector. I'll leave a link to MCA Selector and the episode where we went really into it, like a deep dive, how to use it and everything down below. But MCA Selector is for chunk clearing. Let's say this was my old world, like pre 1.21, and I know there's a trial chamber in that area right there. Well, because I already loaded this world before 1.21, the chamber will not generate there. If I want the chamber to generate there, I'm going to have to go over right here, select those chunks, selection, delete selected chunks, okay. Then I need to wait until Minecraft 1.21 drops, jump into my world in the update, and then these chunks, I load them back in, and there will be the new stuff there. We've done chunk resetting in our world a couple of times now. It basically takes a chunk inside of your world and puts it back to how it was the first time you saw it. Ever. Chunk resetting is always a great thing to do in your world if you want to optimize it, but especially if you have a new update with new things like a biome or structure that you want to be able to find and not have to go like, say, 3,000 blocks away. Alright, now I want to say, for today's comment of the day, the dog names, man, you guys went off on the episode where I said, like, dog names. There was, like, so many comments, way more than I was actually expecting to see with, like, different names, and then also just, like, general love for the guy. Thank you so much. That made me so happy. When it comes to picking a dog name, I really struggled. I wish I could have, like, a million dogs, and I guess, well, now that I think about it, I could. For our beautiful dog names, of which I have so many inside of this thing already. For dog names, I've got 3 of them. Wickerbilly, Wolfenstein, and of course the classic we had to, Waddles. Now, when it comes to actually naming the dogs properly, I kind of realized I don't really have a lot of name tags. I need to build a name tag farm in the world. But for now, I had the names up there, and then I'm going to pick later on, once we like actually start naming these dogs, which one is going to be which. Then, of course, we have the classic Bonzo chilling right there in the middle, and yeah, that's going to be wonderful. If you submitted a name down in the comments of the last episode, thank you so much, and stay tuned. There's still a chance to name more dogs in the future. After all, I think we still have like 5 more dogs to go, at least. Maybe I even get more for fun. Oh boy, so today, preparing for Minecraft 1.20, that's how it's done. I'm pretty sure the next episode will still be in Minecraft 1.20.6. I think 1.21 is still a ways off, but when it comes to the update, we no longer have to do any more preparation inside of our world, so that's going to be pretty awesome. If you enjoyed today's episode, tap that like button, subscribe. I know it was a little bit different, but I hope it was still cool. On the end card is going to be the playlist of the series. If you like the idea of early access to the episodes, check out my Patreon link below. And if you want world downloads, tap join. Become a member today. Until next time, it's been me, Waddles. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.